with the scent of potpourri, films we commit to memory. Crossing the felt ropes, watching from home on my TV, looking at all my eyes can see. They tell me I view obsessively.
Hello and welcome to The Obsessive Viewer, a weekly podcast reviewing 2 new or recent released titles every episode with an occasional free-for-all segment at the end that we call Potpourri. I'm your host, Matt Hurt, and you can find more of my work, including my written reviews, full episode show notes, and the complete backlog of our episodes and spinoff podcasts at obsessiveviewer.com. You can also follow me on Letterboxd and other social media platforms at the username of Obsessive Viewer. And if you'd like to support us and get access to hundreds of exclusive episodes and content, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Recently on Patreon, I've been doing my long walks. So in honor of the Long Walk movie being in theaters, I decided to finally read The Long Walk for the first time. And what I'm doing is I am listening to the audiobook, 2 or 3 chapters of the audiobook while walking around different trails around me. And then I am recording my thoughts on those chapters while also walking in trails and stuff. It's exhausting, and I've got 3 episodes out covering a total of 7 chapters. So I'm about halfway through the book. It's fantastic. This whole experiment has been really interesting. So check that out on Patreon. And I also have a free episode out for in honor of Batman Day. On September 20th, I released a sneak preview of a new project that I'm working on Patreon called The Gotham Project, which is launching behind the paywall in January, where I'm basically just recording a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of reviews and stuff about anything related to Batman. And for Batman Day, which was September 20th, I released this sneak preview episode, which has 2 reviews of 2 runs from the comic books. One is Second Chances, one is the Dumpster Slasher trilogy. Anyway, that free sneak preview episode is available to paid and free members on Patreon. So if you go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer and you don't want to pay me or anything, just create a free membership. You'll get access to that free Batman Day Gotham Project episode, and some other fun goodies and stuff. So once again, you can sign up for that over at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer for all of that and a bunch more content. And if you want to support me without messing with Patreon, you can always just buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/obsessiveviewer. So this week on the show, later on, we're going to be reviewing the new installment of the VHS found footage anthology horror film series on Shudder, VHS Halloween, in this week's secondary review. But before that, we're going to go over some movie news and Indianapolis screenings before reviewing the latest Paul Thomas Anderson film, One Battle After Another, in this week's feature review. And joining me this week is my friend and IFJA colleague, whose work can be found at awakeinthedark.com, and he can be followed on Letterboxd at the handle of Awake in the Dark. It's Brent Leuthold. Welcome back to the show, Brent. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. Thank you for joining me, making your 3rd consecutive year reviewing a VHS movie, I believe.
That sounds right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd one that you've done. But it's a nice tradition that we're having here. So VHS 85 in 2023. And then I don't remember if I did. Also VHS 99 in 2022. So 4th consecutive year.
Wow.
Wait,
so which one was last year then?
Last year was VHS Beyond.
Beyond. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, I remember it. I just forgot that was the title of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's where it was more kind of extra. Okay. I know we talked about it, but was, okay.
It's
because they've done the years before, as you mentioned. So the Beyond. And then of course with this one, they're doing Halloween, as you already mentioned. So that's the sort of theme this time.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I don't really remember hardly anything about VHS Beyond last year's. I just remember like bits and pieces of it. I remember that Mike Flanagan wrote one and Kate Siegel directed it, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was the why I remember that one. Yeah, it was the spaceship and the nanobots, I think. And,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, interesting. Well, yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining me for your 4th consecutive year. Hopefully, this is so dumb. Hopefully, by the time we get to our VHS review, you won't have any like senioritis. It being the 4th year, and it's like you're a senior.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had
Anyway.
I guess this is our graduation. We're going to throw up our hats. Yeah.
Yeah. That could actually be a good theme for the next VHS movie, honestly. Like graduation day. But
what if it's called VHS graduation?
Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That would be amazing if we broke that here.
I'm pitching it right now, IFC. It's all VHS set around the last day of school.
Yes.
Boom.
Absolutely.
Write it.
Have like a Dazed and Confused style one.
Yeah.
That could actually be amazing. Jesus. Okay, we'll get to work on it.
We did it. Yeah. We'll write it.
Yeah. But speaking of writing things, Brent, perfect segue. Recently, over at awakeinthedark.com, you have written some reviews. You write weekly reviews over there and on a publication that you write for. I guess I don't know why I'm being coy about it. It's a Fort Wayne publication.
Yeah.
But
they're called What's Up. It's a regional it's a Northeast Indiana like a public event sort of magazine thing. It's free, and I've been writing for them since 2018.
Yep. And
it's a little over 5 years.
Yeah, and that's right, listeners. I got that Brent Leuthold on the podcast. So
the very one. Yeah.
Exactly.
I said 5 years, 7 years. I'm sorry. My brain is mush. So.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know math. But anyway, speaking of writing, you've reviewed recently on awakeinthedark.com and on What's Up. You have reviewed Eleanor the Great, One Battle After Another, Code 3, and Lurker. Code 3, I wish I would have had a chance to see that. I wasn't able to get to it. But anyway, how's it been going over on awakeinthedark.com, and how was ScarJo's directorial debut, Eleanor the Great?
Well, on Code 3, I believe that's coming to rental like very soon. I think as early as this week. It might be Tuesday, or like it might be like Friday or something. Nice. Tuesday or Friday or something. Like it'll be available to rent really soon. It had a really limited release.
Yeah.
But I was able to. I was able to get a screener, and it really, really solid movie. So I hope I don't know where it's gonna so I know it's gonna be out for rental, but I don't know where it'll eventually stream. Sure. But once it kind of hits a streamer, I hope people check it out. Because I think there's absolutely an audience for it. So that was a good one. Eleanor the Great, not as much, not as great. It's. Do you know what that movie's about?
Not exactly. You kind of let loose a little bit of detail in our group chat, and that's the gist of what I know about it. Just that it's about someone with a past that is presented one way, but maybe another way. Yeah.
I mean, we can leave it there. I guess we're worried about spoilers. I didn't really hold back in my review because I didn't see the trailer, so I don't know. But I didn't want to bother trying to tiptoe around it because it just wasn't going to be worth it to convey the kind of issues that I had with it. But yeah, Jane Squibb is in it. She's really fantastic in it. I don't think it's my problems with the movie didn't as much have to do with things being in poor taste, although I thought at some points they were. I think Scarlett Johansson and everyone else really try to bend over backwards to sort of be sensitive to some of the thematic, and some of the subject material that might be a bit tricky. That wasn't as much my problem with it. It's just that it's so schmaltzy And it's even without getting into specifically what it's about, once a lie is told and then the character has to like keep kind of going down the rabbit hole of like telling that lie and all this stuff. It's just sort of sitcom-y to me, and it's just sort of like, it's just sort of rough. And then you get a lot of those like third act like monologues and people trying to clear things up, and it's just like it's like you would I said this somewhere, it's like a 20th century rom-com, like or like a 90s rom-com, not in like a good way, because that's not what this movie really is, but like in terms of the but you don't understand, like that, which I know you know what I'm talking about with that. So like but it's like that, but then with like a really like pretty weighty drama. So like it's just like not a good mix of tones.
Oh god. I can imagine that being very easy very very difficult not to fumble that.
I honestly think the direction, I'm not trying to, I don't think she's like I don't think Scarlett Johansson's like totally off the hook, but I think it's mainly just the script is just like either needed rewrites or just pick something else for a first time out, because I think it's a really pretty tricky balance. And again, I think yes, again, there's definitely parts of it that are really overbearing and schmaltzy, but I think there's stuff there in the storytelling. We'll see kind of what else she chooses to do in the future. And I think she directs the actors very well. Like June Squibb's great in this. I did not see Thelma last year. I know that was like a big breakout for her. I didn't see that one, but I mean, she's like 95 and I mean, really crafts a real character here. And she's great. And I forget the name of the actress who plays Nina, the journalist, but she was good as well. So yeah, not terrible. I didn't think just like, but yeah, not quite up my alley. Some people might love it, honestly.
Okay. Interesting. That's Eleanor the Great. I would recommend going back and circling back and checking out Thelma, because that is such a charming, such a good movie. I had so much fun with it. There's always one or two movies at the end of not just the end of the year, but at the end of like FYC that I'm like, I've been staring at for months. Yep. And that was one of mine last year where I was just, I just kept on the list. But after seeing this, I want to go back, because I'm sure that premise of that movie sounds more inviting to me, certainly than the one for Eleanor the Great. So. I can't wait for June Squibb to finish out her character name in the title trilogy. So curious to see what she does next.
I'm here for it. After even just on Eleanor the Great, I'm here for it. She's wonderful in it.
Nice. So. Yeah, she's fantastic. Anything I've seen her in has been great. So that is a peek into the world of Brent's reviews, which can be found at awakeinthedark.com. Now, usually at this point in the podcast, I talk about what's playing this week in Indy, but I didn't put any notes for what's playing in Indy. But I will cede this to talk about the Heartland Film Festival. Before that, over at Alamo Drafthouse, which is a sponsor of Heartland Film Festival, is in one of the venues as well. Every first and third Sunday of the month, they have movie trivia that's hosted by our friend and colleague Lou Harry. Check that out. Free to enter. Don't need a team. You can just go do movie trivia the first and third Sunday of each month at 6:00. And check out the movies and stuff at Alamo, Can, Living Room Theaters, Keystone Art, Flix Brewhouse. But I want to talk a little bit about Heartland Film Festival, which is rapidly approaching. By the time this episode comes out, the Heartland will be a week away. So Heartland is opening on October 9th, and it runs through the 19th. I'm just going to read from the press release. It will showcase 100 independent films and award season contenders, including centerpiece screening of Train Dreams and an international screening of It Was Just an Accident. It's going to be, the Heartland Film Festival is presented by Alamo Drafthouse Cinema at the Square. and it let's see, it's going to include 19 world US premieres, 27 regional premieres, 17 special presentations from major distributors, 9 Indiana Spotlight films. And I did want to mention that they're also going to be virtually streaming as well. That's restricted just to the US, but those are going to be virtually streaming on October 9th through October 19th as well. But I want to mention the Indiana Spotlight. There is a documentary that is going to be premiering at Heartland called The Tenderness Tour. And I'm very excited for this because our friend and IFJ colleague Richard Probst is the subject of that documentary. It premieres on October 11th at the Toby Theater at Newfields, and it's also going to be playing on October 13th at Alamo Drafthouse and on October 18th at the Indy Arts Center Auditorium. I'm going to be at the October 13th screening at Alamo, but yeah, I'm very, very excited for this. I'm very excited. Brent, how do you feel about Richard's documentary coming out?
Awesome. Congratulations, Richard. I haven't even seen it yet, but I'm sure it'll be great. I'm probably not going to make it down there this year. I feel like I know I went in 2019. I'm trying to think if I've been back. It's sad, but that was fun. I think I went one other time. I forget what I saw, but I saw oh god, I was getting mixed up. Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh yeah.
2019. It was packed. That was pretty early. I don't know if that was the international premiere, but it was pretty close.
It was close to that, I think. Yeah, I was at that screening.
It might have been like a TIFF or something, but it was pretty close.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had to. I remember I had to sit in the balcony, in the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Aubrey and I went down for that just because I at that point I'd been in the IFJ for less than a year, and I was that'd be fun to kind of get that experience or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, no, excited to see the Tenderness Tour. I just went through my email because I usually try to catch at least a few online ones, and I did reserve some.
Nice.
So 11/17 premarital happy birthday, and there's one other one. So I Horse Girls is the other one, I guess. So with these, they're not usually ones that I'm familiar with. So I kind of I don't totally vet them, but I usually kind of just, Happy Birthday was one that I heard about, I think from Tribeca, which I didn't end up seeing, but, anyway, so we'll see. I'll be excited to check those out from home, and stuff has changed a lot in terms of film festivals doing virtual offerings, or what they what they offer. I will say Heartland's always been really good about that. They always have a pretty good selection of stuff, and it's the same thing. The same case this year as well. So I'll be writing about not writing about them. Well, maybe blurbs, but sure. But regardless,
check Letterboxd.
Check Letterboxd. I'd like to come back down sometime. It's never because it's not a good lineup. It's just especially some of them. Even being on Friday and Saturdays, it's still kind of tricky.
I've got PTO scheduled for a couple of days during the festival that I'm hoping that I'll be able to go and make a day of it to see some things. But I do have screeners of things. I want to, and I'm going to put this out there. This is going to be a bad idea on my part, because if I don't follow through on it, then I'm terrible. But my hope is that I can carve out some time this coming week or this weekend to just dig into the screeners I have and watch a bunch of stuff, and then just do a preview episode, and that'll be next week's episode of Obsessive Viewer will be the Heartland preview episode. That's my idea that I'm working around in my brain right now. But I do have tickets for several of the special screenings, and that'll be the post Heartland episode of Obsessive Viewer will be hopefully me talking about those movies. We'll see. We'll see what happens and everything. But for additional context, to bring it back to the Tenderness Tour, from the guidebook, it is a documentary featuring Richard Probst, directed by Andy Redwine, and the summary is, in his hardest physical challenge to date, complex, dedicated, and irreverent activist Richard Probst fights for the very tour that saved his own life. Can Richard raise $1 million to offset $155 million in medical debt when he's never raised more than $20,000? Very, very excited for Richard and very excited for this documentary. And his Tenderness Tour charity event is incredible. Like all the admiration for him. He's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah. And also check out his work at the independentcritic.com. Do you want to get into news before the reviews?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. And actually, right before that, I do want to mention, I'll save that for later. Okay. Yeah. News before the reviews. I've got a couple of things in the intervening weeks since we've been on. A bunch of things have happened, and I wanted to touch briefly on, like, one of those things was the Emmys, which I don't really have anything ready to go about that, but I was very excited that Severance was a big show, or oh God, what was the big winner? Jesus. The Studio came out on top really well.
I think The Pit and The Studio were kind of the main two for like drama and comedy. I don't know all of the specific ones, but I think those were the ones in the kind of the big categories. Yeah.
Very thrilled for The Pit. I can't wait for season 2. That show is amazing. Yeah. So very excited.
Yeah, I think it's January, I think.
Yep.
So not too much longer now.
No. In January, we've got The Pit, and 28 years later, the Bone Temple. Like, we're going to be eating good in January. So the first piece of like news proper that I have is that from September 18th, so it's been a couple of weeks, but I do want to touch on this, that Jimmy Kimmel's show was briefly suspended by ABC and Disney indefinitely at the guidance of the FCC chair, Brendan Carr. It's all due to the Charlie Kirk assassination and comments that Jimmy Kimmel made about MAGA. It's a whole thing, but the fallout from all of that was that Jimmy Kimmel was taken off the air indefinitely, and then the backlash to that was massive. There was widespread reports of people just canceling all of their Disney affiliated things in protest, and within a week, it's like, oh, we're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring it back. Like, it's okay. But the precedent that it sets and all of these things, and there was a whole thing about the oh God, what is it? The Next Star and the other thing that's another thing, but it's exhausting living in 2025. Brent, what did you make of Jimmy Kimmel, that whole thing?
So this had to do with the Nexstar Tegna proposed merger, basically two humongous media conglomerates when they love each other very much. This is basically out of the kind of the Colbert playbook, what they ran earlier this year, not carried out the same exact way, but it's effectively holding these media conglomerates hostage, sort of blackmail-y. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
So God, I don't even know where to go with all this.
Yeah.
I mean, the basic thing about it is, Kimmel said something in his monologue that touched on it. In my opinion, I didn't think it was offensive. I didn't think it was whatever. I mean, it was, I mean,
Same.
if that's really what it was, that's like, wow. Like, they have not been watching enough late night talk shows, because like people go at whatever, the Trump administration, any of it, like way harder than that. So, but it didn't have to do with that. It was just an excuse. It was just a way for Brennan Carr, the FCC chair, as you mentioned, to go to ABC and say, you know, hey, you know, you want this merger to happen, you're going to take them off the air. Yeah. So I guess that's just what we're doing. Yeah. You know, because the Colbert thing played out differently, and then CBS just decided to outright cancel the Tonight Show starting next year, that is, or end it next year, however you want to say it. So that played out differently, but it's effectively from the same playbook. They had the same merger going on with Skydance, which did go through. They paid $15 million in what was basically, you know, a bribe. I mean, you know, I don't know how to, you know, I don't know how to talk about this without putting it in, you know, mafia terms. I mean, I'll even go this far. I mean, frickin' Ted Cruz went on a podcast and did a terrible Italian mafia accent when basically saying, nice place you have here. I'm doing his version of, it was like the most Russian version of Goodfellas. His point was that, you know, it's a shakedown. He even calls it that, and I mean, he even said specifically, we don't want this precedent to be set, because when the shoe's on the other foot, we're not going to like it, meaning conservatives or Republicans or what have you. Anyway, we could talk about it for a million years. I mean, the point is that, you know, it's, and then there was going to be this thing where ABC brought him back, but then Nexstar and the other one, not Tegna, but the other, Sinclair.
Sinclair, there you go.
They own all of these affiliates, so they were going to not broadcast him, but then they caved too. So it's just, the whole thing is just it's so obviously coerced and just gross and not right. And I think my main headline here is everyone who said, you know, well, hey, like, ABC is a corporation, and if his show's not doing well, they're well within their rights to pull him off the air. I just want people to know that's not what we're talking about. Here. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's fine. If you're a company, you can fire someone. Okay, fine. That's not what happened here. It's just not. It's not, because, and we can have all these other conversations about, talk shows aren't doing well, and if they want to cancel the night show, man, that thing's a dime, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about that, but to me, it's a separate conversation. Oh, absolutely. This is just pure coercion. It's just, you know. So that's, I don't really know what else to, I don't really know what else to say other than that. And you know, we'll see what else happens. It feels like strings could just kind of keep getting pulled. You know, someone potentially, you know, high up in the administration, tweeted, or whatever they call it on Truth Social. Like, he truthed, you know, watch out, you know, Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, like, you're next. What I think is so fun, I do have to have this tangent. What I think is so funny about that is to say, you're next, Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers, is so funny, because here you have, if they're worried about what Jimmy Kimmel was saying or Stephen Colbert, watch Seth Meyers. Literally pick any 20 minutes of a closer look that he has done for the past whatever, like year and change anyway. I mean, that dude goes hard in the paint. All right. Like, he does not mess around. Just objectively. But then Jimmy Fallon, I never watched his stuff really, but like, that dude strikes me as the most like obsequious POS ever. Like, what has he said? Like, it's just so funny to me that Jimmy Fallon has to be reading that and be like, how are you going to put the two of us together? I know they're both on NBC, but like, they could not be any more different in terms of like their political, like what they're trying to do. Like, you know, it's not
like, and like Jimmy Fallon like tousled Trump's hair. Like that should give him
Right.
some kind of cachet with the man.
I know he should have had that card ready to,
Yeah.
he's like, hey man, like I helped entertain the whole country into electing you.
Right. Yeah.
In my own small way. Doesn't
He
that
should
give
have
me
had
anything?
a cabinet
Nope.
position.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, I mean, all that's to say that, we've seen this before with Colbert. We're seeing it. We saw it recently with Kimmel. We'll just kind of see what else happens. But yeah, it's aforementioned 2025.
Yep. Shitty times, but on to more positive
movies, Matt.
things. Yeah.
Oh, or whatever piece of news you have next.
Oh
I'm sorry.
yeah. A couple of things, because I feel like I should have just scrapped the Jimmy Kimmel thing because I had two other things that I'd forgotten about. But today,
Kimmel hasn't done a movie in like 25 years.
Oh, I know.
now.
Yeah. When was the last time he was in a movie?
Oh my God.
Like Valentine's Day? Was he in Valentine's Day? I don't know. But
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, someone who hasn't been in movies in the last, well, I would say maybe 10 years or so, but is going to be making a comeback, The Simpsons. It was announced today that The Simpsons movie, like the second one, is going to be in theaters, I think, October 2027. Now, I know, Brent, that you're not a Simpsons guy. And so I'm not sure why I'm really bringing up this piece of news with you, but how do you feel about this? I know that you have seen the original Simpsons movie. That was like 15 years ago, I think, actually. What did you think of that? And are you going to check out this second movie whenever it comes out in 2027?
I'd probably check it out. I think the first one came out in 2007. So
2007.
it will have been 20 years.
Jeez.
Whatever. Yeah. So I did see that. And I mean, like, I'm familiar with the characters. So like, I generally, I think I could go into the second one, just fine. I'll probably see it. Yeah. I don't have anything, against Simpsons. It's just, I get certain shows, if I don't start them from the beginning, they get too large and too many seasons for me. And I get overwhelmed and I just can't do it. I've seen smattering of episodes from various seasons, and so I'll probably check it out. I don't really know what to expect. I mean, I know that people have said, the quality is generally waned from The Simpsons for the last X amount of years, depending who you ask. I like the movie well enough, but that was, again, I know there's been 17 more seasons since then or whatever. Yeah. So, I don't know what to expect in terms of comparison to that. But.
Yeah. And correction, it's slated to be released in theaters on July 23rd, 2027. We'll see if that
summer
happens,
release.
but,
Okay.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. It's one of those things. I'm one of the millions of people who grew up on The Simpsons, loved The Simpsons. The classic era Simpsons are like some of the best television comedy of all time. But I haven't seen The Simpsons, like new Simpsons, in probably around, I haven't been current with The Simpsons in maybe 10, 15 years. And that's being kind of generous with it. But like that like pocket of seasons 2 through 12 are just like it is a revelation of comedy. Like, it is insanely good. It's insanely good. So I highly recommend checking that out.
So that's pretty much its run in the 90s about. Yeah. Right?
Yep.
I mean,
around when Conan O'Brien was writing for it and a bunch of like Harvard Lampoon guys. It's just the magic of The Simpsons and in the early era Simpsons is it's a perfect like satire of like American life, like middle America and all that. But the world it creates, like the Springfield of it all, like the just colorful characters that populate it is is incredible. Like one of my favorite episodes and one of the best episodes of television ever is 22 short films about Springfield. And it's like small vignettes of about a minute long each that just show like one character doing something during that day. And it's like Apu goes to a party and eats a lot of hot dogs and like it's all part of a bit where he's like, I'm taking a break from running the Quickie Mart. And it's like, I have 1 minute or I have like 2 minutes to do this. And he runs and does everything fast, quickly. But yeah, it's a magical show. I love it. So, having said all that, I do wish that they would let the actors retire and just finish out the show, be done with it. I don't understand why it needs to keep going. It's insane to me that there are like everyone on that show is in like their 60s and later and like, retire. Like you're rich, go live on a beach somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, coming up on 40 seasons, we have a movie coming up, probably as good a time as any. And I don't have a dog in the fight. Santa's a Little Helper, I think is the name of the dog. I don't have a Santa's a Little Helper in the fight, but like, I agree with you. Like, and I mean, it sounds, again, I don't know this, but like, sounds like they're not like, at any point now, like they're not going to be going out on top or the high note or any of that. But yeah, I think at a certain point you just kind of end it. But I mean, if they're going to do, this movie that comes out in 27 and all that, I don't know. I don't know if 40 is a number that they're aiming for. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But 40 seasons is insane. 37 seasons is insane. Anyway,
absolutely.
But hopefully it'll have some sort of, closure that that people can feel good about.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens. It was recently renewed for 4 seasons. So
it's already going to go past 40 seasons then.
I think so. Yep.
I think if they're on 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
It's something. I always had the dream as a Simpsons fan that they would end the show when they reached 742 episodes because their address in Springfield is 742 Evergreen Terrace. But they
blew past that.
Yep. Yep. So, whatever. The final piece of news I have, Brent, is that the Social Network follow-up has a 2026 release date and an official title. It is going to be called The Social Reckoning. It's written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. It's going to star Mikey Madison, Jeremy Allen White, Bill Burr, and Jeremy Strong is going to be playing Mark Zuckerberg. And it's going to be in theaters on October 9th, 2026. So, Brent, how do you feel about The Social Network, and how do you feel about this, the news of the sequel, the follow-up, the spiritual successor, The Social Reckoning, coming in 2026?
Yeah. I mean, I love Social Network. Probably my favorite David Fincher movie, probably one of the better movies so far this century. I think it's honestly I think time's been pretty kind to it. I mean, honestly, just because, I mean, and the fact that we're like getting, this, again, spiritual successor or sequel or what it is. So yeah, I love that movie. I remember before it came out, people were like, a movie about Facebook?
Yeah.
Like, that's so stupid. Like, I remember that stuff very vividly.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, I mean, I was kind of more open-minded about it because even at that point, I had been on Facebook, since like high school. So it had been kind of a big part of kind of my early college, life and everything.
Yeah.
So I was excited for it. Quite frankly, I didn't even expect The Social Network to be nearly as good as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of this one, I don't really know much else about it besides what you just said. Aaron Sorkin is writing and directing, or
yes.
He's writing and directing. Okay.
And I think it's going to be basically based on Wall Street Journal report called The Facebook Files. It was a series of let's see, telling the Social Reckoning tells the true story of how Francis Haugen, played by Mackie Madison, a young Facebook engineer, enlists the help of Jeff Horowitz, Jeremy Allen White, a Wall Street Journal reporter, to go on a dangerous journey that ends up blowing the whistle on the social network's most guarded secrets. Horowitz reporting a series of articles known as the Facebook Files was published in 2021 and exposed Facebook for its harmful effects on teens and its knowing proliferation of misinformation, which contributed to acts of political violence. I'll put a link to that Variety article in the show notes. But yeah, I think it is. I rewatched The Social Network like a year or so ago, and I just remember thinking while watching it, like, man, this. Like, it's still relevant today, and there is, like, the way that Facebook and social media and algorithms and everything has just grown since then. This is something that's ripe for revisiting in this format again. So, yeah, I'm thrilled that we're going to get that. I do wish that David Fincher was going to direct it, because I'm not too crazy about Sorkin as a director. But yeah, I have high hopes nonetheless.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because like Sorkin's writing, I mean, he's written some of the best screenplays probably ever, quite frankly. Yeah. Not that all of his stuff is always the top, but I mean, like, right. He's written some fantastic scripts, obviously. Mm-hmm. Director wise, I'm not as like keen on his like directing stuff, and that goes back to some of the episodes of like The Newsroom, but you know, like Trial of Chicago. So like he's just like I'm not as confident with that part of it. It'd be great, you know. Yeah, Fincher coming back would definitely get me more curious. But I'm still interested. I didn't realize like all of this stuff, like what the movie will be about in terms of kind of whistleblowing. So, you know, Sorkin obviously he's done a ton of like journalism. You know, whether through film and TV, he's done he's followed journalists before. So I'll remain hopeful. And yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot to there's a lot to delve into. So I'll choose to remain hopeful on the quality for that one.
Same here. And that is it for news before the reviews. I'll put links to all of this stuff in the show notes of this episode, which, by the way, those show notes are available at obsessiveviewer.com/OV488, I think. 488. And, links in the show notes and all that. So, Brent, are you ready to get into our feature review of the evening for Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, like I said, this is Paul Thomas Anderson. He wrote and directed it. It's based on a novel by Thomas Pynchon, called Vineland. The premise, according to IMDb, is when their evil enemy resurfaces after 16 years, a group of ex-revolutionaries reunite to rescue one of their own's daughter. It's currently in theaters. It opened in theaters September 26th. And the cast includes Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, Chase Infinity, Benicio del Toro, Teyana Taylor, Regina Hall, Wood Harris, and more. So what we're going to do, as we usually do, is we're going to do a non-spoiler review followed by a spoiler review. So once we transition over to spoilers, I'll play a clip from the trailer. If you want to navigate around that, check the show notes for timestamps. So we're going to get into our non-spoiler review of One Battle After Another. Brent, how did you feel about this movie? And briefly, how do you feel about Paul Thomas Anderson as a filmmaker?
Paul Thomas Anderson is probably one of my very favorite directors working still today. This is his 10th feature by my count, and he's done music videos and short films, but One Battle After Another, I believe, is his 10th feature film. And I mean, the quality across those, not just the quality, but yes, absolutely the quality, but also just the variety of genres and themes and scope and all of it is so varied and so ambitious and so challenging, but yet like intellectually satisfying. He's he's amazing. I love him.
Yeah.
So that I would generally say we could talk. We do whole other podcasts about all those other movies.
Yep.
But so that's generally that. This new film I was extremely excited for. I got to see it early. I took a trip with my wife and her parents to Washington, D.C. earlier this month. And before we left, I was just kind of curious about what was going to sort of happen with screenings for this. I didn't know what Warner's was going to do. This did not play at any film festivals, which is sometimes the case with Paul Thomas Anderson stuff. He has in the past, hasn't, whatever. But this, even despite coming out kind of almost right on really in the heart actually of a festival season, is just kind of having a wide release. So anyway, I was like looking screenings, like couldn't really find anything like around, like nothing in Indianapolis, nothing any of that. So I saw one on the 16th in Silver Spring, Maryland. And I was like, I wonder if that's near DC. Then turns out it was like 8 miles from where, like 8 or 9 miles where we were staying in our hotel. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. It's like the night we're getting in, I might be able to make it work. Pulled it up. Event was full. So I'm like, all right, I'll get on the wait list. This was like 2 days before, a few days before we left.
Okay.
And I was like, I had no plan. Like I was like, just like, okay, I'll get on the wait list, whatever, it'll either happen or it won't. It'll be great, but whatever. Sure. So anyway, the day before we leave, I got an email and they're like, oh, the wait list, there's spots available now. They probably got more spots, whatever that they unreserved for people. Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, well, like sign me up. And then, because with these screenings, it's like you get a pass, but it's like, you show up and there's a huge line. So, sure. It's not, you can reserve something and then heaven forbid if I couldn't make it, I'm not paying anything for it. And I just wouldn't go. But I ended up going. I was able to get in line, stay in line and all that stuff and got in. And it was a cool experience. It was weird going to a screening like that, being the other side of it, because we've gone to screens in Indy where we're the press. We're the ones with the hot shots with the reserve seats. I was on the outskirts. I was the other 20% on the, whatever. But I ended up getting like a pretty, for a movie like that, we didn't see it. It wasn't in the IMAX theater, unfortunately, the IMAX auditorium. But even for that, like it was just like still a big screen. So anyway, I was up higher anyway for it. Wow. I haven't talked about the movie yet. Yeah. But anyway,
I just want to say really quick, like I didn't realize like you went through all of that. Like I just thought that like, oh, you got a ticket and you went to it. Like I thought it was just one of those like early access screenings. And it's just insane to me that like in the best possible way, like you were in DC on vacation and you jumped through all of these hoops to watch a near 3-hour movie while on vacation.
And yes, and
nice.
Getting the screening was at 7. It's the theater's like it's like 8 or 9 miles or something. But that doesn't matter in a city. Right. What is 8 or 9? Well, actually, you're in Indianapolis. 8 or 9 miles to me is like, oh, that's across town. That's like 15 minutes. Yeah. No, it was like my Uber ride was like an hour. So because it was pretty much during like rush hour. And the guy was like, even told me, he's like, this is like, it's going to be like an hour. I'm like, yeah, sorry for you, but you have to deal with me. But like, this is where I have to go. And this is how you do things in cities, apparently. So anyway, it was lucky that I was I was on a wait list for it and all this stuff. So, it was a screening they were hosting. And they did some, I think, in like New York and LA, but like they didn't really do any like that week. So like the week of the film when it came out, like 22nd, 23rd, I think when a lot of the press screenings were. But I think like they did one in El Paso too. Oh wow! Or they probably maybe did something around California, but like they didn't do a lot that week of the 15th. That week of it. So I was extremely fortunate not only to see it early, but quite a bit earlier. Nice. So anyway, I mean, the film is great. I mean, it's another masterpiece.
Oh yeah,
by him. I think what I think this time out for me, what's coolest about it is this is him working with a budget that's 4 or 5 times what he normally does. I mean, most of his movies, tend to cost, depending exactly when, like, 20 to say, like, on the high end, like 40 million. That's like the most that he would get for his movies. Budget for this, depending on like who you ask, is like around 150 million. So like the idea that Warner's, was like, okay, like we're going to bet big on you. And, obviously I'm sure, came to him, and, Vineland is one that he's talked about, I mean, through the years, he's a big Thomas Pynchon guy. He adapted Inherent Vice in 2014, which was, as I understand it, a much more like kind of direct adaptation. Vineland takes place in the 60s and like the 80s, whereas this is One Battle After Another. There's a time shift, but it's anyway. So I think they were probably in the negotiations with Warner's or whatever. He was probably like, if they're going to give me this budget, like I might as well shoot for the stars and do the adaptation that I want. And like, so I'm assuming this is kind of the dream project. I don't know that specifically, but I assume this is kind of really what he wanted to aim for. And so, yeah, it's yeah, we'll obviously talk about it more, but I mean, it's an instant classic. I mean, it's really, it's something to really see. Yeah. A movie that, that will be with people for a really long time. We don't have any more the thing of like, oh, if you catch it on TV, you'll keep watching it. We had for like, whatever Goodfellas, whatever movies would be on TV, TBS or TNT or anything like that. Content is watch stuff so intentional now, but regardless, this is, I think, a movie that will just keep people kind of curious and I think intrigued well after, the opening weekend, which already has passed, or, 2025. It's a real work of art. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things that anytime, and this happened with Licorice Pizza, and I thought there was something else that he had that, okay. So I really liked Licorice Pizza, and his filmography is like you said, it's very insane. It is like, there are a few that I haven't seen, like Phantom Thread. Sadly, I have not watched it. I need to. But the variety, like you were saying, is vast. And each one just has like this, just like immense scale to it in terms of just showcasing, like, this is definitely like his vision for the film. This is definitely like he's pouring himself into it at each turn. And what sets One Battle After Another apart, like you said, is that now he has the money. He goes big, and like, it's massive. Like, it's massive in a way that's like similar to how like There Will Be Blood was massive, but more stylish than that, like in a different way, but the same way. But like, it's massive. It's incredible. And anytime I see P.T. Anderson movie, I just think like, okay, I need to go back and I need to rewatch Boogie Nights, because I haven't seen that since like high school, and I need to give Inherent Vice another chance because I really didn't like it when I saw it. And so much so that like when watching One Battle After Another, I thought this is like Bob, Leo DiCaprio is a lot like Joaquin Phoenix's character in Inherent Vice. He's like this burnout stoner guy. But it's like One Battle After Another is a much more watchable version of that character for me, because I just I just couldn't really get into Inherent Vice. But yeah, everything clicks together and works so well together. There's this level of suspense and tension that it finds that line really quickly and rides it so consistently, where you've got Leo DiCaprio being this guy who is this stoner burnout guy, but the stakes of what's going on, like he's trying to get to his daughter, the stakes of that are so big, and like he's so focused on that like his little like stonerisms that are getting in the way aren't played exactly for laughs. Like they're not played strictly for laughs, because there's that undercurrent of like, oh no, this is a serious situation. He needs to, like, he can't remember the code speak to get access to the rendezvous point or anything, and that's funny. But like also, you know, his daughter's in danger, so like I really loved DiCaprio's performance in that, where he like has a hold on the comedy of the character while simultaneously like carrying that tension of it. And then like that is such a fine line that I think is just walked so perfectly throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this too, and I agree with you. I mean, the tone of this is just so interesting, and of course very much in the way that he is so confident with the tones that he establishes you know, for each of his films. And the stakes here are very, to me, very immediate. Some have already called this like his most accessible film.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I mean, because I mean, you read that log line right there, like it's like father trying to get his daughter back. I mean, it's like a Western.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like, you know, anyone can pretty much. Now, this is not a simple film.
Sure.
You know, there are a lot of other things, and there's a lot of, you know, different character, and it's, you know, 2 hours 45 or what have you. But it is, I think, in a way. So you mentioned like Inherent Vice, like that to me is a lot more of like a neo-noir, sort of like intentionally convoluted, you know, basically a Shaggy Dog story, because like I couldn't even tell you what he's after in that movie. I mean, it's been 10 years since I've seen it, but like even if I saw it last week and you quizzed me, I don't think I'd be able to tell you like who was after what exactly, and like all it's intentionally a lot of different characters. Whereas this, I mean, there are a lot of characters, but the stakes are a lot more. It's a much more immediate film, where, you know, you can. I mean, it gets right going, and you know, even after, you know, the sort of time jump, like it's, you know, what's at stake. There are a lot of complications and a lot of layers to it, but I don't know who would see this and really like be lost about like where we're trying to go. And I mean, for me, I'm looking for like things with Paul Thomas Anderson in terms of like things that are different for him. Again, the budget is very different, what he's able to accomplish with that, which we'll talk about. But in terms of the type of story that he's telling here, I think is very different even than like what he did with when he was previously adapting Pynchon with like Inherent Vice. Again, if I'm sort of like looking for differences in his filmography or points of like, you know, growth, or just like, you know, interesting aspects in how this fits into to his work.
Yeah.
Those are the things that to me, I came out of this like kind of buzzing most about. Yeah.
Totally agree. Yeah. I was looking at the other movies that I haven't seen of his. I haven't seen Phantom Thread or Heart 8 and Junon. Have not seen that either.
Yeah, that's a documentary that he did with Johnny Greenwood. Oh, okay. It's like, I haven't seen it. I should, because you know, I'm definitely a fan of Johnny Greenwood as well. But it's like 65 minutes or something, and then like the one he did with Tom York, for Anima is really good, but it's like, I forget exactly how long it is. It's like 30 or 40 minutes. Like they're not really like feature length. They're really the anime is really good. And then like the music videos that he's done for Heim, for instance, like those are really cool, but of course those are, shorter. But yeah, Hard Eight is it's his debut. Definitely very I mean, a lot of confidence right out of the gate. You'll notice that like with Paul Thomas Anderson, like his stuff in the 90s especially, like not a young man lacking for confidence.
Right.
Which it's there's definitely, it's sort of interesting to see, again, a movie like this, like how they're kind of in conversation with one another in terms of like the story that he's interested in telling, because this is a movie that's very much about the passage of time, maybe having certain regrets about how things have gone in your life, what you want for your kids is a humongous theme in this. So that again, maturity and that sort of kind of nuance in what he's trying to do here is another point that I mean, I just obviously I love this movie and what it means, to in terms of where it fits into kind of the rest of his work.
Yeah, and the way that he handles, like, not necessarily the passage of time, but like the character as he grows through that time period, like that 16-year time jump it's so interesting to see this like revolutionary sort of militant revolutionary just kind of grow old into like this, stoned guy with a kid. And it's really interesting to see it play out and see how Bob's kind of just reaction when like things hit the fan and he needs to be like reactivated or whatever, how he bumps up against, like, granted, like I said, it is also like him just being this burnout guy, but like him bumping up against like, okay, the different things that they have to do in order to get to this. It's like, I just need to get this. I need to get this done, that frantic nature of it. But having this movie front loaded with this extended sequence, this extended prologue of just showing the passion and the ferocity of their goal, their means, the French 75.
Yep.
Having them just that be this just like angry, just like really, really energized, committed thing, and then having that turn on its head with him having a kid and her having a kid with him and everything, having that be this just complete change for him is really interesting. And especially when it jumps to 16 years later, when you have this paranoid stoner guy that's embarrasses his daughter. It's just it's a great recipe for just really good writing.
Yeah, 100%. And getting to Leo's performance, I mean, I think this is maybe my favorite performance of his. I mean, full stop, which of course is saying a lot. He's been in plenty of great films. He's given done terrific work in them, but this is just, I mean, as you mentioned there, you kind of summed it up, that you see such a transition between kind of who he is in this like younger state, and he's kind of just crazy about this Perfidia, Beverly Hills, I believe her name is, played by Tiana Taylor. And I mean, you kind of get the sense that he's trying to, well, not the sense, I mean, he's trying to like impress her. And it's this whole thing of like, kind of young love / lust or whatever. And, it's kind of the thing of like, dog chasing a car, wouldn't know what to do when he caught it, sort of thing. And I think it's one of those classic things. I don't know if this is exactly explicit in the film, but like, I don't know that that it was like a planned sort of like pregnancy, or I certainly don't think that they were like planning on like being parents, but I think it's one of those things like he really shifts then. And Perfidia does not, and is still kind of all about this leading the revolution and all that stuff. and then kind of once we have that time jump, I've seen they've done a lot of press for this. I mean, WB, we'll talk about this, but like WB's, they're pulling out all the stops. It cannot be said that they did not do their best for this film. Talking about the box office too, but like anyway, regardless, he's done like interviews and he's talked about The Big Lebowski and the dude, and there really is so much of a through line there, not just with the character and the way that he's played, but in the subtext of the film too. That is a movie, talking about like kind of Vineland, that book taking place in the 60s and then being like pushed later on into like the Reagan era of the 80s. The Big Lebowski, I don't know exactly what year it is, but I think it's like the late 80s or early 90s. And so this idea that he's sort of just like lost in this, he's like hippie haze or whatever. And, all this like life is sort of just kind of happening. And it's this, this like the bum's lost sort of thing. And like, he's like, and of course, he's where that actually is, kind of course, being like a Coen Brothers movie, there are a lot of like red herrings. I do like The Big Lebowski a lot more than Inherent Vice. Not that whatever, but bottom line is, he's being like thrown into this stuff with one battle after another. Bob gets tripped up by every obstacle possible.
Yes.
Whether it's jumping from a roof or, like, of course, like a big stretch of this movie is not remembering the specific code word that they have code speak between these revolutionaries. So much time has passed. He doesn't know all of these, like the revolution will not be televised. They have to know all of the, they have to be able to recite the stanzas, it's like, it's like, who I am. Anyway. And I mean, I think it's a big part of this movie is his performance. It's just so, it's outlandish, but it's still relatable and and affable. And again, I mean, I think it's because I think this movie's focus is so clear in terms of like what he's trying to do. I think that helps a lot. With, again, sort of streamlining the narrative to some extent, but I think it really informs his performance in a way that I really vibe. I mean, there's a ton of, and he's even done comedy very well before. Wolf of Wall Street obviously springs to mind, and he's brilliant in that. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not like a full comedy, but like I think of like that breakdown scene in the trailer, and there's definitely like he's just so good at that, like that like balance or that like a seesaw between like pathetic and like heroic. So can't really say enough about. I'd love to see him get nominated for an Oscar again. I mean, this is the sort of role I'd rather people win for than like The Revenant, which is a movie I like a lot and a performance I respect and all that stuff. But that's also ultimately a movie you kind of survive making. Whereas this is like you're putting, you're crafting a full character here, and anyway. So nothing against The Revenant or any of that. He's done a lot of great movies, but this is like instantly like probably right up at the top for me. For me, it's something like as in terms of his performances, I think it's going to grow on me, and it's growing from a place where it's already very high up. Like I don't know if I would necessarily say it's his best performance that I've seen, but that's mostly because his filmography is insane. And I don't know if I'm ready to say that it's stronger than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I loved his performance. And to get into the plot a little bit more, the way that it handles, again, that time jump and how Willa, played by Chase Infinity from Indianapolis, I believe, the way that her character kind of grows as someone who is learning about her mother, and kind of just like
learning about who her mother was and what her mother became. And the way that she's like responding to that and she's getting into that world reminded me a little bit, and I don't know if this is really a fair comparison, but it reminded me a little bit of like The Place Beyond the Pines, like that kind of generational sort of like discovery of like where you came from or who the person who made you was. So
yeah, that's really interesting. I had not thought of that film, but I could definitely see that film was definitely about generational discovery. I think was basically like you just put it. So
so I was really into that part of it as well. I do think that Chase Infinity, this is her first movie. This is her debut, I believe. And like, she's fantastic. Especially in the latter parts of the movie, which I won't give anything away, but there's just stuff that she does that I think is really promising for like her future career. I think she's got a lot of talent, and this is a very good debut of showcasing that talent. If I seem distracted, it's because pizza has been around the table, and I've been trying to get her away, and fortunately, she just got away. So anyway.
She's wonderful in the whole film. Well, this is probably too vague, and I don't want to make it sound like it's just one, but there's one scene in particular where she goes toe to toe with someone, and it's like, to me, it was like, all right, like that's like just starving. I mean, you sort of see that sometimes with people where it's like, where they're either early on in their career or it's like their first film, and you have to realize like they're playing against Leonardo DiCaprio and like Sean Penn, like people who are like heavy hitters, and it's like, I can't act anyway, but like I would just be like pooping my pamper. So she does not do that. Right. She very much holds her own, and no, she's fantastic in it. She was in Presumed Innocent, which I believe came out either earlier this year or last year, but it was a TV show. This is her first film. She was good in that as well, but this is like one that I really hope unlocks a lot of doors for her, because I think she's outstanding. I mean, the whole cast. I mean, Tiana Taylor, man. I mean, she is just an absolute force here. She's not a spoiler. She's the first person we see in the film, and she's like not quite jogging, but like very briskly walking down a bridge. And Johnny Greenwood's score is like a single note piano, and then vloms in a really so like good. Holy crap! Like you are in a theater, damn it, way.
Yes. It made me happy that I saw it in Dolby.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I just saw it even just like in Senator, although I think the sound was like better than what you'd get at a normal like AMC or Regal in Fort Wayne. So
right.
But anyway, she's fantastic in this. Regina Hall is really good. She's like, I've seen her do kind of generally more comedy. I've certainly seen her do drama as well. But she's fantastic. I mean, Sean Penn in this is just incredible.
Yes. Oh my God.
He is,
like,
probably one of my favorite performances of his as well.
Mine too. 100%. His like that, like intensity, but it's just like this shaky intensity. It's not like he's not like a conventionally like frightening guy. It's just like you can tell like he's like right on the edge of just like going crazy or like doing something like insane. And it's not necessarily like an intimidation thing, but it's just like it sort of reminds me of the idea behind what James McAvoy did while filming See No Evil, where he would do like 50 push-ups or something before each take or something like that, so that he would be out of breath for it.
Yeah.
Like the way Sean Penn carries himself in this movie just feels like he is like it's almost like he's just recovering from having the wind knocked out of him a little bit. it's just, it
That's
works
a great way to
really
explain
well.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it works so well.
Yeah.
And it really, phenomenal performance. And
Yeah, I think the performances. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, in the comedy about, like, there's a bit about his shirt that I thought was really funny.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
really
that's
good.
the thing. The performances in this too, like, it is that whole thing of like doing comedy. I'm thinking of Leo and Sean Penn specifically, and their characters are foils in this, and and all of that. But those are both characters that are like buffoonish, like the way that they're like written and like even presented, they are, and yet. Like Leo, I cared about him, and Sean Penn, like I wanted him to go down, like and Sean Penn, I mean the Lockjaw, Colonel Lockjaw's character, even when his character is like, whatever, ridiculous or just like seems like what is this guy all about? He represents and has a full army and like a whole backing behind him. And that does a lot of talking. Like that's a lot. That's really, so even if it's like, what's going on with this guy? It's like, well, like he's got a lot of troops and a lot of guns and, and full authority to go into these cities, all this stuff. So, anyway, all that to say, Paul Thomas Anderson has done plenty of like comedy before, even outright comedies.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about this is that there's so much comedy in it, but it's not frivolous. Like it's always thrilling, but there's just these like, in terms of how like all these idiosyncrasies, whatever.
Idiosyncrasies.
Yeah, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
With the characters still present and still register.
Yes.
Even when things are still tense. Yeah. So, that's a real skill. Again, both from the direction and the acting.
Yeah. Do you want to go into spoilers for One Battle After Another? Okay, we're going to go ahead and go into spoilers. I ended up rating this 4.5 stars on Letterboxd out of 5. It's going to be on my top 10. It's a phenomenal movie. Brent, what did you rate it on Letterboxd?
All 5 of them, baby.
Nice. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and go into spoilers. So if you want to skip the spoiler section, check the show notes for timestamps. Show notes at obsessiveviewer.com/OV488. And I'm going to play a clip from the trailer. When we come back, we're going to be spoiling One Battle After Another.
Not one thing, it's another. Find that to be true.
I need you, brother. Sensei, please.
Courage, Bob. Courage.
That's it. Courage. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, thank you, Sensei. Thank you, Sensei. Thank you. God damn it. Viva la revolution!
All right, so spoilers on for One Battle After Another. Brent, we didn't really talk that much about Benicio del Toro's character. Phenomenal. I love that as a contrast to Lockjaw and like his like military network and stuff, and having the sensei be kind of the head of this, as he calls it, like a Harriet Tubman situation. Just like, that's one of the magic things about this movie, and one of the things that sustained it so well for me is that you have Bob, this just, I don't want to call him like a ne'er-do-well, but like he is this like burnout guy with a past, and he just falls into this just massive encroachment and like military thing that he is at the center of, and his daughter's at the center of. But I just love that like we're following Bob as all of this chaos is going on around him, and the people that are kind of in charge of things there is like the sensei, and he's like, he has like this energy to him that I really liked. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. He's kind of he's kind of there's overlap with Bob, and there's enough where they obviously align in terms of like what their sort of like aims are and their sort of worldviews. He just has it together a lot more, and he's able to help this guy who is his daughter's karate teacher.
Yeah.
Like he like basically I mean, Bob slams on the and raps on the door at the dojo or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to help me. And I'm sorry, Benicio del Toro, Sensei, but
Sensei.
I think Sergio's his name.
Sergio.
Regardless, Sensei.
Yeah.
He's just like, all right. And like his whole night is like, he's like, well, let's see what happens.
Right,
and it's
well,
like,
we
we
need to go
stay
home
with
first.
them for like the whole night. And
Oh
he
my
literally
God,
goes
yeah.
to his apartment, his whole thing. And then, of course, as we mentioned, Bob on the phone for like long stretch of time trying to do this whole "what time is it" thing.
Yes.
This code word, and Sensei, Sergio is just in the back, just like kind of going about his things, but ready to like hand him a sniper rifle. Like it's
exactly.
It's such a weird limbo of like active and not.
Exactly. And like when you say like he's going about his day and going about his things, like the business that he's doing is he's hiding all of these people that are being sought by the military. Like this is like serious shit going on. And he's like there's just an offhanded thing when he hears Bob like say like, I don't know what fucking time it is. And he's just like 8:15. Like, it's just like, God damn, this is brilliant.
It's so good. And yeah, he's outstanding. I mean, it's such, everyone is so good in the cast. And I caught up with the Phoenician Scheme earlier this month. He's terrific. That's a lead role, and he worked with another Anderson in that one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're two very different. That's a Phoenician Scheme is very different character. Has it much more together than Sensei. But regardless, just two real gems of performances from him.
Yeah,
and he's another one. Like again, performance wise, he is funny, and it is funny that like he's doing all of these things that take a lot of courage, and he's very nonchalant about it, but it still matters. Like that's what I love about the comedy in this movie, is that it's not it's about like using the humor in this it doesn't undercut anything. And I think that's a really tricky thing that I think Anderson is able to do. Yeah,
because it's not undercutting anything, and it's also not serving the purpose to relieve any tension. Like it's not like we're not going through like, oh my God, he just got tased and he's going to jail. Like what's going to happen? Oh, he farted. So that's funny. It's not like the humor is so baked into the story and the character, no pun intended with baked, but it's just so like ingrained in it that it just feels so realistic, and it feels so lived in. I loved it so much. The whole time I like it wasn't necessarily that I wasn't looking forward to seeing like a 2 hour and 45-minute movie, but it was like I had another movie I needed to watch last night. So I was like, oh crap, okay, I need to really like race home and start this next movie. And so like I had that in the back of my mind, like as I'm in the theater, I'm like, it's one of those experiences where this is going to sound hacky or whatever, but like I was absorbed into it. Like it was one of those things where I just barely, like I checked the time on my phone, like maybe twice just to see my notifications. But other than that, I was locked in. So yeah.
I gave an absolutely awful. So they had all sorts of swag. They had like a goatee thing on a stick. And then they said that if you dress up in flannel, we'll give you a beanie. Right. Oh. So I was like, okay, that's fun. So I was able to actually pack it and all that stuff because they said that in the email I got on Monday. So did that. So they had a bunch of, you've been to these screenings, like they have people with clipboards and they say, what'd you think about blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But they had like cameras there too.
Oh, God.
And so I asked, so I was coming out and I almost called my ride share and I saw the beanies, and I didn't get one before because basically when I was in line, the line was just sort of moving. And again, I've been to these press public screenings. Yeah. So I'm like, the soonest that I can get in that theater, I need to grab a seat and not move.
Yeah.
because they let us in around 6:30, about half an hour before it started. So they're like, yeah, well, okay, well, you're all scanned in. Like when I was at the thing, they're like, well, you can like go out here, and if you want to, get a photo with the phone booth, and put on a robe and stuff. And I'm like, that's cute. I'm gonna get a seat right now. so I was like, if it's between the beanie and getting a seat for this movie, I know which one I'm picking. So anyway, later on after the movie, they had a table of these beanies. And I was like, can I just like take one of these? I should have just taken it and run. Would have been very Bob of me, but
yes.
but the woman behind the camera responded like, sure, just sign this video release. I'm just gonna ask you a few questions and you can take a beanie. And I was like, all right, that's fine. And I just gave like a terrible they're like, what are the 3 words you would use to describe this movie? And the first thing I said was epic. I was like, my head just fell. And I don't even remember anything else that I said. So anyway, hopefully if you see my dumb face on any marketing that that WB and One Battle After Another have done on social media, I'm so sorry. The good news is you haven't, because the footage is so bad. There is no way it would ever see the light of day. But all that to say, it's a lot. I mean, it's a heavy meal. So to come out of this and really, digest it and sort of sit with everything you've seen, it's a lot. So yeah, no, I don't I don't envy you having to like go home right away and like watch something else or whatever and then rush through, because it's definitely something that, I mean, I had, still probably a 30-minute Uber ride on the way back, and then by that time it was like 10:30 at night or whatever. Sure. So that was pretty much my night. But
and you had to wake up early to storm the Capitol the next day.
That's right. see Mike Pence. That's right. Yeah. Mike Pence was at the oh gosh,
was it the
my
Capitol,
brain?
Capitol
it was
Rotunda?
the archives, but the rotunda or whatever of the archives, which is where the Declaration, Bill of Rights, and Constitution are. And he was just there at like 9:30 in the morning.
Wow,
it's really random.
Okay,
so we didn't know that or anything go beforehand. But anyway, all that to say, like it's a lot to sit there, and I'm already, I'm contemplating coming down to the Indy State Museum as I did for for Oppenheimer. I did that a couple years. That's the last time I came down there. Wow. I've seen 3 Chris Nolan movies there.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I think this would definitely be one that I should. Yeah. Because I loved it. So I think I will at some point during its run, and I'm hoping they'll keep it for at least a few weeks. Can we? I know there's a ton of stuff we talk. Everything's amazing. No. Yeah. The whole Christmas Adventures thing is incredible. Yeah. I guess we could talk about that.
We can.
I was gonna. Oh, go ahead.
No. I loved how that was. Like this movie deals with very heavy stuff. Like there's some socioeconomic stuff. There's some social commentary in it that's very relevant today. Even kind of serendipitously so, in some respects. But I really like that it presents like the Christmas Adventurers thing as like, it is this white supremacist group. It is this like, it is what it is. It's like, but it's not created in a sense that's like cartoonish exactly. Like it is very much, we don't get a lot of detail about it, but we get enough detail where another movie would play it up as this really cartoonish villainous thing. And there, we get a little cartoonish in this, a little bit, but it just feels like really lived in, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, yes, like the names of things and Hail Saint Nick and like those are funny, punchlines and things, but what's the uncomfortable truth? We know this stuff exists. We know that, like, we know that there are evil cabals of people who are trying to keep things white and male. It's like it's so it's anyway. Yes, those scenes they have their own unique power. Yes, again, I mean, despite the the funny details in it.
Yeah.
It's still there. So yeah, all of that stuff was amazing. With that subplot, I love that brings what Lockjaw's mission is even more to the forefront, and makes the stakes even higher at getting her, because you realize like his whole like membership in this elite club or whatever is all pending on basically erasing her existence. So that's that it comes at a time in the story where you kind of need more like catch up on what he's about now, and and so they do a really, really great job at catching us up and filling that all out.
Absolutely. And there's a bunch of other stuff we can talk about, but I don't want to go too long.
Yeah, I was just gonna. The thing I was just gonna say. I mean, I could. God, the River of Hills car chase is.
Oh my
is
God!
insane.
Yes,
people have already talked about like an instant classic, and it totally is.
Oh my God! Like, yeah, it was incredible, and like I got like small like hints of like of Bullet. With the Hills, also the fact that it's a Charger and a Mustang, but like the way that it switches to like the front of the cars and is following on the hills, like I haven't seen that. I haven't seen it done that way, at least not in recent memory, and I was just absorbed by it. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's just incredible, and again, to see Paul Thomas Anderson, we've seen this before, like directors, they get this like massive budget, and to a certain extent, it's like, it doesn't always translate, meaning that, what they were able to do, in a smaller scale doesn't always translate. And here it just, not only does it translate, I mean, it's almost like, you can't even imagine from some of his past work that he could do a sequence like that. Not because he's not a brilliant filmmaker, but because, again, it is just so, his films tend to be, just much more character driven or, plot driven. And that is just all about the intensity of that moment, those three cars and just growling engines and movement, and it's I mean, that scene alone, I mean, just an absolute masterwork. But I mean, it's I mean, there's a gajillion scenes. The only thing I was just gonna say is just box office wise, it's just like a bummer this month seeing people like, oh, it's getting pretty good reviews, like I might do like 20 to 20. It's like originally like 20 million domestic opening. Like, oh no, we're thinking 22. I'm like, screw you, man.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I know those people aren't trying to be pessimistic or downers, and they end up being realistic. But I come out of this movie and I'm just like, who would not see this freaking movie?
Yeah.
Like, I can't get it. I don't understand.
Even as like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, even as something that can be kind of niche or kind of film bro-y, like it's got the star power, Leo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, like it is Benicio del Toro. And it's also clearly like not that like strongly character driven P.T. Anderson, like you said. It is, there's a purpose to it. There's a different style to it. And that's a mark of how great a filmmaker he is also, just that he can just do something else. Like it's really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crime saga, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't like, if this isn't the movie that opens to 75 mil, I guess I just don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't understand these things. I mean, the more depressing fact is I realized that There Will Be Blood has made the most of all of Paul Thomas Anderson his movies.
Oh, wow.
It made $77 million worldwide.
Jeez.
And I'm just like, this is where I'm just like, okay, there's two different worlds then.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand. Because like this guy is like of course, like on my Mount Rushmore.
Mhm.
And, you know, like the Demon Slayer movie from earlier this month does more on its opening weekend than any of his movies worldwide. I just don't like,
Jesus.
So I don't know what to do with that. Like, I just,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, the reason I want to say that is because the fallback a lot of times is, oh, they didn't market it.
Oh yeah.
They didn't market it. They didn't do it. It cannot be said here. And I know I went to a press screening, so I'm a little biased. I've seen a lot of marketing for this. I've seen spots for it. I've seen Leo come out and do a lot of interviews, which I don't think he always does.
Right.
I've seen like Regina Hall do stuff, Tiana Taylor, like people, Sean Penn even doing stuff, and he doesn't always do stuff. Like Paul Thomas Anderson, I don't think feels super comfortable doing that stuff. He has done that stuff. I think WB not only gave him 150 whatever, I think they probably did another 100 million for marketing. I just don't, you know, it's the 2025 of it all. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for people to go out to see a freaking movie. But
to be fair, I think that maybe its greatest fault is that it opened against Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie,
which got an A+ cinema score.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One Battle After Another only got an A.
Oh,
So.
yeah. Oof. The world we live in.
And I joke, but I mean, an A for Paul Thomas Anderson is quite something. Like, he does not make A cinema score films.
Right.
You know, like, he just doesn't. I mean, a great filmmaker, love his movies, but like, you know, The Master is not getting an A cinema score.
Right.
You know, great as movies that is, you know, this movie is challenging in all the ways that that I look for in a movie, but it's also, I don't know, man. If people will go for this, I don't get it. So that's the bummer to me, but it's one of those movies that I think will stay in the conversation for the months for awards reasons.
Oh yeah.
Which, because I just think it's kind of indefinable. Like it's gonna be like, Warner's is gonna have to make a decision between this and Sinners. I love Sinners.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to make a decision between what they want to put their weight behind. And I think they're going to go with this. I'm talking about for awards reasons.
Right.
Could be totally wrong about that. Maybe they'll both show up and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Both great movies. I'm not trying to say that to pit them against each other. I'm just stating the reality of it. But regardless, past the awards part of it, Warner's wants to make a buck.
Yeah.
I know Superman did well. I get it. They're a company, they're a business. The box office part of this is depressing to me. As great as a film it is, it further to me, it makes me understand less about what people want.
Oh yeah. I am at least thankful that it got its wide theatrical release. It got its stuff. Like, it wasn't dumped or anything. So that's good. Like, they have faith in it, but I agree. And
Warner's, I mean, okay, I'll be more clear in what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying boohoo Warner's because the fact of the matter is, this thing exists. It will exist as long as they don't write it down. Right. To write down like Batgirl.
Yeah. Jesus.
Get a physical copy of this as soon as you can. Right. By the way, everyone who's listening. But seriously, you know, the fact is, it exists. And I mean, if Warner's never does another movie if they're not in the Paul Thomas Anderson business after this, if they don't, it's a one and done, then, you know, we can be grateful that there was a moment in time, a moment in history, where they were able to come to him with a lot of money and say, make something great. And he did. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that will do it for our review of One Battle After Another. So yeah, to wrap up the review, Brent, you rated it 5 stars. I gave it 4.5 stars. Would you say that this is your current number one, or what other movies are in contention for your number one?
For of the year? Of the year, yeah. This is definitely number one. Nice. Yeah, Superman and Sinners would honestly be like 2 and 3. Nice. So I guess I'm a big WB fanboy, I guess, this year. Yep. You know, I did say in my review, I mean, it is heartening that they are betting big on auteurs. I mean, it's a through line with what they're doing this year, between Ryan Coogler and James Gunn. So yeah, but no, this is my favorite. I mean, I'll have to really see something here in the next few months to dethrone it, but it could happen. I've given a couple 5 stars in the past. So
same here. It's in contention for my top 10, probably not number 1, but top 5 for sure. Great movie. See it in theaters. And we are going to wrap up this review, and then we're going to do a secondary review, probably a brief one, for VHS Halloween. So before we do that, I do want to say 2 things. One, that I forgot to mention at the top, I am going to be a guest on the Short Bites podcast, a Stephen King podcast, hosted by my friend in Canada, Jason White. He and I talked about some Stephen King short stories. I'm going to be on 2 episodes coming out soon, so check that out, Short Bites. And then I'm also going to make an appearance on our friend Andy and Logan's podcast, Odd Trilogies, next month. So look forward to that. But before we get to our secondary review, I want to take a quick moment to remind you that if you like the show, please take a moment to follow us on social media and subscribe to and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or whatever your preferred podcast app is. And don't forget to subscribe to the Obsessive Viewer Podcast YouTube channel, where I have some videos up there and other fun stuff. And if you're interested in starting a podcast of your own, you can go to Libsyn and use the promo code OBSESS. When you sign up for a new account, you'll get up to 2 months free, depending on when you sign up during the month, and we'll get a commission on it as well. More details on that are in the show notes of this episode. And now back to the show.
They tell me I view obsessively.
All right, and for tonight's secondary review, that again will probably be pretty quick, we're going to be talking about VHS Halloween, which premieres on Shudder on October 3rd, I believe. And the plot summary, courtesy of IMDb, is a collection of Halloween-themed videotapes unleashes a series of twisted, blood-soaked tales, turning trick-or-treat into a struggle for survival. As is the way with the VHS franchise, this is a collection of segments that are put together. That's the definition of an anthology film. Brent, do you want to do spoiler reviews or non-spoilers, and we can kind of hit each segment?
We probably don't need to get into spoilers. Yeah, we could maybe just kind of hit each one or whatever we normally do. I guess maybe overall impression, and then a little bit up on each one. I don't know.
Sure, that sounds great. And to bring us into
fun size reviews, if you will.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm going to play a clip from the trailer because I forgot to do that before. So when we come back, we're going to be talking in non-spoilers about VHS Halloween.
Hello?
All right, so that was the most boring section of the trailer that I could have played. But Brent, 4th anniversary of us talking about VHS. We did it. What is it, next year is the gold anniversary, I think? I don't know. But VHS Halloween. Quick overview. How did you feel about the movie overall? And we can go segment by segment. And where are you at with the VHS franchise, and where does this land with you? Or we can save that for after. But yeah.
Yeah, I still love it. It's fun. Well, it's fun doing these every year, but it's fun to have them on Shudder every October. I think that's a fun tradition. So I'm glad they're still doing it strong and all that stuff. I would say overall, this is one of my favorites.
Nice.
Probably since I don't know if it's quite as good as the very first one. That's probably still my favorite, but it's maybe 2 or 3 for me. It's pretty high up. And I think the thing I would say is there aren't any here for me that are oh my God, holy crap, all timer. But I think this is probably the most consistent set of shorts for me. I just think there's I think in general, I didn't really think there were really any duds. Even like the frame narrative, like wasn't incredible, but like I vibed with it. And like for me, all of these are like above them. I like it was like almost 2 hours, which I don't know exactly what the runtime of these usually is, but like it went fast, and I just felt like even though, like, of course they have like the theme of Halloween in them, but I think there's the directors are definitely putting their own stamps on each of them. But yeah, I didn't again, it sounds like damning with faint praise to say that like none of them were incredible, but like I don't know, none of them were bad to me either. And I don't know, they're all just like good, but I think the cumulative effect of it is because like we've this fourth time we've done this, like is a sort of a bummer where you get like, oh, it's like that was a good one, and then you get one like that kind of, I didn't like that, like it was kind of a dud. And for me, I mean, we'll talk about it, like I didn't really feel like any of these were duds. I thought they were all solid. So yeah, I would say up there for me in terms of the 8 of these that they've done, I think.
I think this is the 8th one, I believe. Geez. I'm gonna have to like marathon them again, because this is such a fun franchise.
I feel like what I need to do, because Letterboxd doesn't do this, but like somehow I need to like figure out which one was in each one. Because like certain ones, like Ozzy's Dungeon, I remember that was in 99 because I love that one, and that's like the sort of Double Dare sort of pastiche, the sort of Nickelodeon
thing.
One, twisted Nickelodeon sort of thing. Like, I love that one. Like there's certain ones, but then like if you were to ask me right now to like name each of the ones in even VHS Beyond, which we did last year, like I wouldn't be able to do it.
Same.
So it's tricky. But anyway, so all that to say, I don't know that any of these, if you ask me a year, 2, 3 from now, like these, like what was in VHS Halloween, I just know that like, I had a good time. I had a really good time overall.
Same here. And it's one of those things that, as for where I'm at with this franchise, I love that it's a yearly tradition now, both for us to do this and for these to come out. Like, I don't want these to end. I just think it's such a fun, like, throwback to like the found footage craze, and with them veering into themed versions, like even the themed ones of the years and everything. Like, I'm loving the consistency of having like a central theme for it. Like, I was psyched for VHS Beyond because it's sci-fi horror. That's fantastic. And I was probably even more excited for this one because Halloween themed VHS movie. How is it the 8th one and they're just now doing like a Halloween themed one? Right. It's freaking awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I was very excited to see it. And I had no qualms with staying up until like 12:30 watching it. It was a blast. And to your point, overall, I do agree. Like, there's not really a bad one in the batch. There's one that I didn't quite vibe with, that we'll probably talk about, but like I
think I know which one it is.
Yeah. I'm curious if it is, because there are lines of dialogue in this one particular segment where I'm like, I can't tell if that's a laugh line, if they're trying to like make me laugh at this, or if it's like an actual thing that a character just said. Like, I don't know if this is like something that's supposed to be passed off as, being scary, or if it's supposed to be funny. But anyway, but the variety of it's really good, with the exception of one that's like, there are 2 that are kind of similar, but there's some really interesting things that are done in terms of the storytelling in a couple of them, or in one in particular. Like, there's this, we'll talk about it, but overall, I really like this. I do have to say, the frame story that we'll talk about, of course, like once it got to a point, like a few times in, I'm just like, okay, well, we'll just make like a regular drink. If this keeps going, like, just make a regular, like, why are you adding, like, if you know that this thing is happening, like, just make a regular one.
Or one with pumpkin spice. He says
yes,
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's like, you should have put more pumpkin spice in it. Yeah.
Exactly. But overall, this is a strong one. This is a strong one. Maybe not as good as like 99 or maybe 85, I think was really good. Because also even with the themed ones, I can't, it's hard to kind of tell. I've made a point in at least the last few ones on Letterboxd to like go segment by segment. I didn't do it for this one yet because we're under embargo, I guess, and I don't it's not out yet, but
Andy had a busy day yesterday, so
I think it's a very busy day. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I fired off my blurb for Letterboxd while I was at work today. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because this franchise has been like consistently, for me, it's been consistently like 3.5 stars out of 5 for the last like few years. And like, it's not anything to sneeze at. Like I really enjoy it. It's really, like I said, the consistency of it is just really good, especially coming off of like the first few, like the first couple are really good, but VHS Viral is, from what I remember, it's like barely watchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went back and like, I even that one, I concede that it's probably the worst VHS, but yeah, that's the thing is I think at some point, I mean, there's probably close to 50, if you can't count wraparound stories, well, 40 or 50 maybe like shorts, like all the stuff. So it's like at a certain point, I feel like I just have to like break out a list and rank those and then figure out the numbers from there. It's hard to actually assign these a number, but I felt again, because this one, I felt like they were all, for me anyway, were so consistent. Like I felt, I feel good enough saying, like 3.5, and honestly, probably one of the better ones. I'm not saying this is like the best one ever, but I'd say comfortable saying like a top 3 one for me.
Nice. Yeah, I would agree. Do you want to go segment by segment really quick? Yeah, kind of rapid fire. Again, non-spoilers. So the wraparound story, the framing device is Diet Phantasma. It's written and directed by Brian M. Ferguson. It has lab techs who are working with this kind of focus group thing for a diet beverage that has some weird malevolent thing in it that causes like incredibly graphic deaths of those who drink it. It is gruesome and a lot of fun, honestly. Like it is fun for what it is. I thought it was entertaining. How did you feel about this framing story?
What the wraparound story reminded me of most, unfortunately for you, is that one scene in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where they're testing out the shamrock mask and the kid is, and then there's like snakes coming out of his mask and all that stuff in his face. It's basically that scene like 4 times.
100%.
But I love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, as does every reasonable person. But I did think it was fun. It doesn't have the sort of, again, like how sort of like conclusion that I would have liked.
Sure.
That's what I tend to like most on like those frame stories, is how they kind of conclude. This one doesn't really have that as much, but they're almost sort of funny they're fun little like interludes. Effectively.
It's interesting because it doesn't really have. I felt like I was expecting it to have like one final like punch at the end, but it didn't really do much of anything that I can remember.
It doesn't really, in fairness. So
the first like full segment is Coochie Coochie Coo, written and directed by Anna Zlakovic, and it has 2 teenage girls that are on the precipice of graduating high school. They're trick-or-treating, even though they're too old to trick-or-treat, and they get lured into a disturbing house of barbarian-esque entities. And it's disturbing. It's a great like haunted house sequence. But it also benefits from being the first one, because this same kind of thing is repeated like a couple of times in a couple of different segments. And I'm like, by the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this setup. But how'd you feel about Coochie Coochie Coo?
It was a good one out of the gate. And I think Barbarian is a really good touch point. And reminded me of the sort of scares they're going for in, like Barbarian, but like even like sort of like the Insidious movies or whatever. It's very much about like just really creepy like character design and just like and monsters and it's fun. It's a lot of the sort of like mother's milk sort of. I mean, you mentioned barbarians, so I guess we can pretty much they all of the trappings therein. But it's a good way to put it. Like good fun, like haunted house, spook 'em goof 'em.
Yes.
That's official horror parlance right there.
I love it. I love it. I also will say that there is a proper set decoration, a living entity in this segment at the beginning, and there's a couple more throughout that. Like it skeeved me out. Like it was disturbing to see. But yeah, just really, really good stuff. So then I think I might have these out of order maybe, but I think the next one is Utsupra Sic Infra.
As below, as above, so below.
Yeah. Written and directed by Paco Plaza. This is the one that I alluded to earlier, which has some interesting, like an interesting narrative structure with, basically a kid or a guy, college kid, I guess, maybe, I don't know. He is the sole survivor of his friend group being killed and eyes gouged out. And so it's this interesting, just like, I wanted to say triptych, but that's not right. Dictic. But Dick Trip. But it's this like dual thing where you're seeing the footage of them going into the house while going into the place while like the investigators are taking him back to it after the fact. And like the way that kind of folds on each other and the way the story unfolds that way is really good. I thought it was really a really strong one. And there's a visual thing that freaked me out. I thought it was like, that's pretty freaking good. Yeah.
There's a camera trick late on in this that's like, it's just really well choreographed. Like still don't know exactly how they did it, if it's just effects or what, but it's really neat. I kind of knew narratively where this was going to head, like but the ending is still really good. And cool to see them doing more Spanish language shorts here. I know they did that, I think Beyond, and they might have one more.
I think 94 maybe
94 I think did one in didn't Timo do that one? Anyway, some other language, I don't know, but it's just kind of cool to be able to like Timo. So it's just cool to like be able to again, we've talked about this with these series. Like it's cool that this is a like a proving ground, for some of these, not necessarily younger talents, but people trying to kind of break into the horror scene. So so anyway, it's it's a good one, and I do like the way it's structured between like the past and the present crime scene.
Same here. The next one is my least favorite of these. It's Fun Size, written and directed by Casper Kelly. It's okay. I think it's about a group. Stop me if you've heard this before. It's about a group of older teenagers who go trick or treating, even though they're too old for it. But there's this like really poor like tonal thing for me with this, because like the kids are all obnoxious, and oh my god, the kids are all obnoxious, and there's this couple in this that the guy keeps referring to her as fiance,
that
and I'm
gets
like,
old.
Oh my god, I can't wait to see this guy get killed. It's like, it's so awkward and dumb, but that's not like, there are other parts where like someone is getting very much like, there is like the thing that is happening to this character is not something that anyone would ever be able to recover pieces of his or her body from. And there's a
Right.
line where someone's like, yeah, can we help him? Like, why? Like, what? No,
No.
you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a mixed bag for me. There were some solid moments in it, but I think that it's the one that I struggled with the most. How'd you feel about Fun Size?
I didn't think that this is the one you were going to mention, so that's
Oh,
funny.
interesting.
I was probably looking forward to this one the most because Casper Kelly did Too Many Cooks, of course, but
Yes.
then the Yule Log and then the Yule Log 2 Branching
Right.
Out sequel, which that second one is basically like a spoof on Hallmark movies, and then the first Yule Log was basically a surprise film.
Right.
It's like this Yule Log for 2 minutes, and then it turns out to be kind of like a Barbarian sort of like where it just kind of keeps going. You don't know what to expect. Anyway, so yeah, I did this. I think I like this one more than you, but
Okay.
I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
This is definitely the one that tries the most. It's the most outlandish, and I think it's definitely trying for the most kind of like demented humor. I think some of that like actually worked for me. Like I actually
Okay.
thought the creatures that they had in the candy pail.
Yeah.
The crux with this is they're only supposed to take one piece of candy,
Right.
and there are all these weird pieces of candy that are like off-brand and all these things, and then
Mhm.
but of course they take more than one piece of candy, so
Yes.
they have to get sucked into this world where they get well, I don't want okay, but anyway,
Yeah.
so but I think they have maybe 2 creatures or so like down there, but it still worked for me, even though I agree like tonally it's a lot more wonky. I still thought like even in an outlandish way, it was still sort of like, I don't know, grody. Like it was just like it's still kind of like. But I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I'm not going to defend the characters for a minute.
Sure.
They're of the sort of trope of like stupid teenagers. This is definitely the one that has the most.
Yes.
For sure. But I still had a good time with it. But yeah, I can't defend some of its lesser elements.
Yeah, and it might be one that grows on me when I revisit it, because I do think I'm gonna probably watch this again like relatively soon, because I love this thing, this franchise. The penultimate segment is Kid Print, written and directed by Alex Ross Perry. I really like this one. It is about a town that's kind of besieged by a bunch of kids being murdered, and there's this kind of there's this company that is offering to basically make videos and pictures of your kids as like the most recent picture of them, so that if they get killed or go missing, they can give them to the police and everything. But it's like this public service. It's interesting, but yeah, from there, Halloween stuff happens, like VHS stuff happens.
It gets all VHS-y.
It gets all VHS-y. Yeah, how did you feel about Kid Print?
This is the one I thought you were gonna maybe have more issues with.
Interesting.
The thing about it, so Alex Ross Perry, yeah, I mean, he's made some really great stuff. That I mean, going back to like Listen Up, Philip, and even like Queen of Earth, I didn't like love that movie, but I mean, definitely has like very much his own style. Did Pavements earlier this year, which is a really great kind of pseudo documentary. It's funny watching. I think I caught up with that movie maybe late August, early September, something like that. I'd seen it relatively recently, and it was funny watching this, which is like found footage. And Pavements is a very kind of unorthodox documentary that does include a lot of fictitious elements, but also real things, and then reenactments and all this stuff. So anyway, this is definitely the most like sort of felt to me like the most like dangerous of the movies, because it involves kids, like it's kids in peril, and it's a really tricky line, and I definitely think he really gets up pretty close to some pretty uncomfortable stuff with this.
Oh yeah,
I don't think it crosses over into like exploitation, but I think again that's the thing about this short that I think is sort of different is it's not like the Casper Kelly one at all tonally. Like it's a lot more like, it feels like, ooh, like it is, you know, kids in horror movies. It's a really tricky thing, especially when you're dealing with like, you know, of course, kids getting killed as they're wont to do in horror movies or segments or what have you. I feel like this maybe spins its wheels a little bit, and I don't even know how to call them acts or whatever.
Right.
But it really nails the ending. The ending is perfect.
So good.
So overall, I like it, and I applaud Alex Ross Perry for like, I don't know who wrote this. I know he directed it, but like, yeah, really like kind of getting there. Really kind of going after it. This is the one that reminded me most of like Videodrome, like going back to like true like VHS like I'm nervous about where this is going aspects. So I don't want to make it sound like too dangerous, but I was just I think it's kind of going for that, and I think it mostly succeeds. I think it mainly just spins its wheels a little bit, but other than that, it's a solid segment for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it a lot. It's funny because like I definitely caught that, like there was that sense of unease I had with that being the subject matter. There were moments where like it doesn't do anything really gratuitous with it or like you said, like exploitative, but like some of the dialogue, some of just like the implication, like the inferences you can make from it is like it is like gets close to that line, and it's a little like uncomfortable. But I think that in terms of like coming off of Fun Size, which had that tonal like inconsistency, having something that's so like in a certain tone and like really carrying it through it was really beneficial to me as an audience member of this film.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And to round out VHS Halloween, we've got Home Haunt, which was written and directed by R.H. Norman and Michelin Pitt Norman. This is about a family, a man who likes to make his home into a haunted house, a home haunt, if you will. And he does it this year, and shit happens.
Tries to spice things up.
He does. And like, I've got to admit, this is one that it's like, I was watching it at 12:15. I was like, this is one that didn't stick with me as well as I would have liked it to. There was some stuff in it that I remember thinking like, oh yeah, this is something I'm going to bring up on the podcast and then forget about it after 2 hours of recording. But the problem that I had with it, sort of, I say problem in like quotes, is that it feels like it's a little too similar to some other segments. Like it's people trapped in an environment, and like this is the last segment of a movie where we've seen that in several of the segments, and it just kind of like wore a little thin, which is that's not like maybe not fair to the filmmakers, because I presume that they're doing these in isolation, like they don't know that that's what it is, but it's a little unfortunate. But as far as the intensity and the actual like violence and the things that happen, like I was into that. I thought it was good. So how'd you feel about Home Haunt?
This is probably my favorite of the 5.
Oh, nice.
But having said that, again, like I think they're all like pretty close. So it's not like, oh my God, this is like clearly the standout for me. Like it's not. And I totally get what you're saying. Like, I don't think it's definitely not the most like ambitious one, certainly even in this movie, but like that they've done, in the past or whatever.
Yeah.
But I just liked how many elements as they go into each room, like how many different things crop up, and just the kind of stuff that we talk about, like the character design, like the prop work. There's some really like gruesome like deaths in this, and it's just like those sort of things. Like it satisfied me in a way. I don't want to say like a guilty pleasure way, because I do think it's well done.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think once we kind of get in that haunted house and the record starts playing and like
Yeah.
we sort of know, like, I don't know, it was just like a fun denouement for me, because I'm just sort of like, and I think they actually conclude the final shot of the film with this one, so like I kind of like that too, and it's a fun last shot. So yeah, I would say this is probably my favorite of the five, but I'm not going to say like it's like head shoulders above, like it's maybe just a little bit, but yeah.
Totally understand that. I do remember the obnoxious neighbor. I was like, he's a little too over the top. Like he's like,
oh yeah,
it was like, okay, you're hitting that drum way too hard.
Like this guy's so concerned about the authenticity of his haunted house or whatever. Yeah, it's like they didn't need to.
No,
it's like don't even bother trying to make any characters. Like
exactly.
Just right.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So it's a little bit of a mixed bag, but that's VHS Halloween. Once again, I don't know if we said ratings at the beginning, but I rated it 3.5 stars. I love this franchise. Like it's so comforting to have a new one each year. And yeah, I'm thrilled we got a Halloween themed one, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Brent, overall thoughts on VHS Halloween?
Yeah, I'd say 3.5 out of 5 as well. I don't think there are any here that are like gonna be like shoot up to the top, unfortunately, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I think there's like a lot that are gonna be like high, mid to middle of the pack. I think it's a really consistent batch.
Oh yeah.
Like a menagerie of Halloween candy and your I don't even want to bother going pushing that metaphor. You get it. Sure. It's a balanced bag of candy. There we go. Okay, great.
Yes.
It's a fun grab bag. There you
go. There you go. It's a fun size grab bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But only take one.
Yes, please do. That'll do it for our review of VHS Halloween. Next year, Brent, you're going to be back for VHS Graduation. Fingers crossed that's what it is. So,
right.
But that'll do it for this episode. Brent, before we go, thank you so much for joining me and giving me so much of your night. But also, can you tell people where they can find you online and what you've got coming down the pike?
Sure. I'm on awakeinthedark.com. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, Instagram. I only post once a week for my reviews, but hey, it's still weekly, so that's not bad. So in terms of coming up for October, looking like Smashing Machine and Tron Ares, and then I'm kicking it into Halloween gear and doing Black Phone 2 and probably Shelby Oaks. I think that is opening here. Nice. So we're doing half horror spooky ones and the other half The Rock and Jared Leto.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Make of that what you will.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Brent. And follow his work at awakeinthedark.com. And that's it for this week's episode of The Obsessive Viewer. As always, thank you so much for listening, and make sure to follow the show on social media and subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast app. Also, check out Obsessive Viewer Podcast's other shows, Tower Junkies, a Stephen King podcast hosted by Tiny and myself, and Anthology, the Twilight Zone and Classic Sci-Fi podcast hosted by me. Next week on the podcast, might be doing a preview episode for Heartland, might be doing the Smashing Machine in Bone Lake. We'll see. But until then, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. And now, enjoy this short clip from a recent Patreon exclusive episode. For the full episode and more Patreon exclusive content, sign up at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. It's actually Garrity saves him, basically pulls him out of it and gets him back on track, which in the process also racks up 3 warnings. Very intense moment. I thought that was really good suspenseful writing. I thought that was awesome. When it comes to I think Olsen got close to getting his ticket, but I can't remember the specifics. But we meet thought about another one. But anyway, we meet Scram, who is a 16-year-old kid who's married, has a baby on the way. He is very confident that he's going to win. He said that he walked 80 miles just a couple of weeks before the long walk, and he's confident that he's going to make it. Thank you for listening to the Obsessive Viewer podcast. This episode was produced and edited by me, Matt Hurt. If you have feedback, thoughts on our episodes, or just want to connect, you can email me at matt@obsessiveviewer.com. For more information on this show, including a full archive of our episodes and show notes, visit obsessiveviewer.com. And if you enjoyed the show, please give us a follow on social media and subscribe to us on your podcast app of choice so you never miss an episode. Also, consider rating and reviewing the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Audible to help increase our visibility and grow our community. If you want to support the show and get early access to new episodes, as well as a steady stream of exclusive episodes, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. For information on more podcasts presented by obsessiveviewer.com, visit obsessiveviewer.com/podcasts. Our theme song is A Little Mad Sometimes by As Good As It Gets. For more of their music, check them out on Spotify and at asgoodasitgetsmusic.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn. Check out the show notes for your promo code to get started podcasting today.